Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this edition of ESPN FC's Extra Time. For those that are listening on the podcast, that's me running. That's generous description. To get the printer and get the questions here on Extra Time. You okay? You couldn't help me out there? I'm working here, huh?
I think if you were to do that again, you wouldn't do it like that, would you?
Frank Leboeuf, Kieran Gibbs. I don't know what it looked like on camera.
No, it didn't look good.
Natum's interior decorator asks, for Kieran, who amongst the teammates you've had in your career would you say has been underrated and not given the recognition that they deserve?
That's a good question. Off the top of my head, I feel like Laurent Koscielny. I thought he was outstanding. Bakary Sagna, but was he underrated? Was he underrated?
Maybe underappreciated. I think he was pretty rated as a defender.
Yeah. I think underappreciated. Yeah. Off the top of my head,
because they were French. It's why.
Oh yeah, that's why. That's exactly
Frank.
why.
I knew that was coming.
What about you, Stevie?
I actually would say, here's the thing is, when you play with a top team, generally top teams have got 3 or 4 guys who we all know are the stars. You know, we always talk about it's a team, but we all know the hierarchy. You got some stars, right?
Yep.
Which is fair enough. And I think that's why when you could talk about people like Koscielny and that being underappreciated, because the job they do, how good they are at it, it doesn't show up because the spotlight kind of goes elsewhere.
Is it a positional thing a little bit?
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like some positions definitely
absolutely.
easier to...
If you're a goal scorer,
sorry,
you score-
Stevie. I know. Sorry to interrupt. Alex Song was another one. Alex Song was big. I felt like he was underrated.
Yeah, the guy I played with, I thought everybody was Gary Gillespie. I mean, great defender, fantastic passer of the ball, but just somehow, partly because of where he played, and you know, you're playing next to a guy called Alan Hansen, who's arguably one of the best centre halves ever played the game, then the kind of spotlight doesn't really go on you too much. So yeah, Gary Gillespie for me.
Frank, most underrated?
Really underrated. Very much appreciated by all the fans and everybody. But I think Torre Andre Flo was somebody underrated at Chelsea, where I think he deserved, for me, all the credit. Was an unbelievable player, technically so strong, being so tall. He served us very well, and I think he was underrated because he was so kind. He never said a word, he never complained about anything, and he was a perfect teammate, and what a scorer, what a worker, and what a gentleman. So he was somebody I think underrated. He was one of the best forward player of his generation.
Frank, your thoughts on Chelsea pursuing Cherki from Lyon? Would it be a good signing?
Rayan Cherki is, you remember Atem Ben Arfa? You remember him playing for Newcastle, and he played also for Nice, Paris Saint-Germain, Marseille, and Lyon. Skillful-wise, one of the best player already on earth. 20 years old. Unbelievable. The guy can do everything, and for left-footed, has a right foot, which is quite incredible. But still has to improve, and he's young. With like Atem, when he has to get rid of the ball, when he has to give the ball, it's always like half a second too early or half a second too late. And it's a real rhythm that he has to get. That's what football is about for me. I have no doubt that he's going to improve. Laurent Blanc gave him a full season last season, 34 games I think he played with Lyon in Ligue 1, but only scored 5 goals and with 6 assists, playing on the right side, coming from his left foot. He should have been better, and I think he's going to be better. I think it's a good investment, but sorry, again, and we talked about that during the show, I'm not sure that's the kind of player Chelsea needs right now, because they need experienced players. They don't need future, they need present.
A little context for our next question. I don't know if you saw Virgil van Dijk had a birthday party recently.
Did he?
And there's a lot of discussion about who he invited. For all, would any of you have invited a player from a rival team to your birthday party like Van Dijk did with Rashford, among others, as you see there? Stevie, you're the most old school of the lot.
Probably not. No, I mean, again, in the 80s when we were basically ourselves and Everton were the two main sides for probably 4 or 5 years. We never, ever socialised with them. And if we were out in a place in Liverpool and they were there, it would be a hello, and that would be it.
Right. There was even the professional courtesy though, where there was like a tension between you guys.
No, not a tension.
Okay.
Just no.
Right.
No.
I don't want to hang out.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Kieran, as the youngest member of the panel here, what do you say?
I mean, if I was friends with them before they played for the club, I mean, even if I was friends with them when they played for the club, probably I don't see any issue with that now. I mean, I get it. I get, you know, for fans and stuff, it's not easy to see, but I mean, I'm friends with Ross Barkley, for example, and when he was at Chelsea, but if I had a birthday party, I would invite him. So, yeah, I don't see the problem.
Frank, you want to be the tiebreaker here?
I would try, but I would be with Stevie saying that no, I would try to avoid because of the fans, because of what the press could say. But it happened to me that a former teammate who signed for Paris Saint-Germain was invited to one of my birthdays, but only because he was a former teammate.
See, that's the key.
Right. You get the out there.
Yeah, that's the key. If you played with them before, that's a different ballgame.
Frank, were you disappointed to be left out of the promotion of Chelsea's new 90s themed kit? They went with a lot of the old school players, but I noticed that you weren't in the promo. What happened there?
I don't know, I wasn't even aware, and I'm fine with that, you know, because the captain, Denis Wise, was there with Roberto Di Matteo, a legendary
they got your jersey there, Frank.
And
they got your kit. They got it.
But yes, exactly. And my jersey is more important than myself. And I'm alongside Gianluca Vialli, so it says a lot, you know. And I'm very fine with that, you know. I'm okay. Roberto won the Champions League as a coach after his career. Denis Wise is the captain of our generation in the 90s, so I'm fine. And being just alongside the almighty Vialli is just something amazing for me.
Embittered Frank Leboeuf left out of Chelsea promo. That's the headline.
No.
The headline tomorrow. All right, Kieran, let's get your take on this. What will Messi's day-to-day look like living and playing in Miami? Of course, you played for Inter Miami, so you would know.
Well, I mean, I don't really know how he likes to spend his time, so I guess probably doing whatever he enjoys doing. Probably, I mean, you know, the weather's nice here. He has a beach. I'm sure he'll probably live close to a beach. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he likes to go out onto the water, maybe a bit of privacy. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few boat days involved. But then obviously he's going to be training a lot. It's really hot here right now, so I mean, I'm sure he knows because he's been here before. But yeah, to train every day in this heat is not the easiest. And then what was the other?
No, that's it.
Yeah, he'll. I feel like the thing that may surprise him is the traveling. The traveling when you have away games, you know, a lot of them are 3-4 hour flights, and so if the schedule's congested, the traveling can kind of kill you a little bit. So I feel like, you know, he might have to adjust with that.
You know what else you might be surprised by, Kieran, is the turf. A lot of the guys who come over from Europe complain about the turf. Some refuse to play on it. You think he'll play on turf?
Do you know what? It's a good question. A few of us were speaking about that the other week about what he's going to do with turf. Unfortunately, one of the guys just got an ACL injury on turf a couple of weeks ago, which was sad to see. And obviously, we don't want to see that with Messi, right? We don't want to see that with anyone, but that would be a big blow. So I think that they're going to have to monitor that. But I feel like the league probably might have to look at that. But it's hard here because there's some of the pitches are in cold states, and so grass pitches won't survive in a lot of states here. So it's a tricky one.
Carry on, Rayan.
Seb,
Never
I
played.
have a question for you. I'm sorry.
Yes.
When you travel on MLS, when you travel for 3-4 hours, is that on commercial flights or they have a private flight?
Good question. Kieran can give
I
you the
answer
better.
this one?
Go on. Yeah. Go ahead. Because yours was a different era.
What Kieran
Things have
experienced was a completely different
Yes.
ball game to what we used to have to do.
You were middle seat on Southwest, C35.
We were spotted all over the plane on a commercial airline, generally in the middle seat.
Middle seat with a family on each side.
Family on either side and behind you, crying wains, going to
Babies
a
for
5-hour
that.
flight.
Yeah.
5-hour flight to LA.
From Boston, of
From
course.
Boston.
It's brutal. Yeah. Kieran, what was it like for you?
Private
No,
plane,
luckily
yeah.
enough, I came after COVID, and so since COVID, they flew private, and they haven't gone back to it since. So probably lucky for Messi that he's not going to have to fly commercial, because that would be interesting as well.
Could you imagine Messi on your commercial?
Can you imagine Messi, right? Right, Lionel, I want you to get to the stadium at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then we're going to get the bus, but it'll take 45 minutes because the traffic's a nightmare in Boston. We'll get off the bus, we'll get you your ticket, get your bag. I want you to sit and wait with all the punters who are going to be surrounding you, getting your autograph for at least 45 minutes, because we have to be checked in at least an hour before. Then we're going to have a 5-hour flight. You're going to be in row B in the middle seat next to the Johnston family, who are going to chew your ear off for the next 5 hours. We're going to land, hold on, we're going to land at 9 o'clock their time, which actually is midnight our time, since we've been travelling since 9 in the morning. And then we're going to have another 40-minute bus journey to the hotel. We will then have something to eat, and then you can go to your bed. And then we're playing tomorrow. By the
On
way.
turf.
On turf. Okay, so bring your turf shoes with you.
Yeah.
And don't complain about turf toe.
Steve, this next question's for you. If the U.S. men's national team asked you to coach them, would you, or would it be too stressful? Do you want to know how much the last guy got paid? Or does it not
No,
matter?
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. No. No.
No.
I would have done it. I would have done it.
Coming off New England?
Coming,
you'd
I
have
would have
gone
done.
back into
I
it?
would have. Absolutely.
They never rung you up? I mean, you were a pretty successful MLS coach for a while.
Yeah.
Federation
No,
never.
I proverbially fell off the edge of a cliff.
Yes.
I got one phone call from Colorado. I think I told you before.
I didn't know that, but interesting that they were the ones.
Well, Colorado called me to see if I was interested. I said yes. I got a phone call 4 days later, something like that, to say, right, you're going to get a phone call and we're going to organise, we want you to come down and show you the stadium, the training facilities, the whole thing. You're going to get a phone call and we'll have you come over.
And?
Well, that was 13 years ago and I'm still waiting for the phone call. I'm still waiting for the phone call.
The way the Rapids do business, you might get it any day.
Yeah, it must have been, aye.
And the last question here. Seb is famous for being expelled for kicking the ball as hard as he could at a referee's face as he was getting subbed out. What are the guy's most memorable sending offs? That's really exaggerated. That's not actually what happened. I threw the ball to the ref, and the ref didn't see the ball going to his face, and it hit him in the face. He thought I was throwing it at him, not to him.
Oh, right.
I was frustrated. We were losing. It was the end of the game, and I said, "You take it. We're not doing anything with it," because they chose to sub me off, and it hit him in the face. And then I was walking off, and there was a huge reaction from the crowd, and I thought it was for how well I had played. And it was because the guy had shown me a red as I was walking.
You're a
off.
kid.
Such an idiot. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stevie, worst sending off.
I never got sent off
Yeah,
as a
awesome.
pro.
So
I got sent off once in my entire life. It was in a Sunday morning game.
here in the States,
Yeah. where I berated a linesman. And I shouldn't have said what I said. I was out of order. I absolutely deserved it. At the end of the day, you know, the guy's not a professional linesman. It was just the most ridiculous decision, but that doesn't matter. No. And I deserved it. I apologised to him afterwards. He took it, he accepted it.
Did he know who you were?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's bad, because you don't want to be that guy.
No, like I said, look, I'm out of order. I shouldn't have said to you what I did.
Frank, you're
wrong.
Your worst sending off, or your favorite sending off?
Well, I already explained during the show a couple of years ago where I got a yellow card against Leeds at home and we were losing the game, and I tackled Harry Kewell but didn't touch him, but he pretended that he was hurt and badly hurt, and he was on the floor complaining, crying, whatever, and the ref gave me a second yellow card, therefore a red card. So I got up and I say, I don't want to be sent off for nothing. So he was on the floor and I kicked him and stamped on him, you know. And I said, now you know why you're crying. I think the PL wanted to give me 10 games and £40,000 a fine. And I went to defend myself, showing that I didn't do anything and didn't touch him. But I got 4 games ban. I apologized to Harry Kewell and to the fans and to my teammates as well. Didn't have any fine. Yeah, it's not something that I'm proud of, but I felt so, yes, I found it so unfair that I reacted like that.
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing. Funny, the other day, I saw something the other day similar. A guy called, if you look this on YouTube, right, his name's Tommy Gemmell, playing for Scotland against West Germany in 1972 World Cup qualifier. Scotland are getting beat. There's only a minute to go, and he's trying to go forward, and this guy tried to kick him, right? Just tried to kick him. And he probably just caught him, right? And Tommy just forgot about the ball and chased him. The guy ran. The guy was running away, and Tommy booted him so hard. He went in. The guy went in the air. And Tommy,
red card?
Oh, he got
red?
sent off. Yeah. And he asked him after the game, what was that all about? He said, look, we were losing the game. The guy tried to kick me. So you know what? I was going to get him.
Nice.
But it's funny to watch it. Brilliant. Tommy Gemmell, Scotland against West Germany. Sorry, it's in Germany. West Germany v Scotland.
Okay.
1972. Fantastic.
Beautiful. Going straight to YouTube after this. Kieran, what about you? What's your most memorable sending off?
I mean, I spoke about my one on here a couple of weeks ago. I think it's pretty clear that the one that's mine has to be at Stamford Bridge nearly 10 years ago. Wow.
Handball.
Nearly 10 years ago. Yeah, mistaken identity, which was Alex Chamberlain, who was guilty. And yeah, he came over to me and gave me the red card, and I actually didn't think that.
It was actually Per Mertesacker, and they sent him off. I mean, seriously, that's what refs do.
But yeah, no, it was just one of them crazy Premier League moments that I mean, pretty crazy that it was up, you know, only 10 years ago, and those kind of mistakes had happened, but. Yeah, just a bizarre time. And then in the end, you know, I tried to fight my corner, and he was asking, okay, who was it then? And I said, that's not my job to tell you who's a culprit.
Yeah.
You need to.
I'm gonna rat my boys out. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then because I didn't give him an answer, he just said, well, then it was you then. And then after a good few minutes of trying to protest it wasn't working, so I reluctantly went in. After speaking to both captains, they were like, you should probably just go in now. So yeah, it was a difficult one.
That used to get right up my nose when I was coaching the refs. Referees would make decisions, right, that was so blatantly the wrong one. And then what would happen
Frank's pulling up.
Well, Frank thinks he's done.
He's pulling up Scotland, West Germany.
I was about to say. We might get a highlight here.
I just lost my screen. You know, whatever. I just lost it.
I thought he was doing Scotland.
Whatever. Don't worry, we haven't noticed. Go on, Stevie.
I think it's too late. It's too late in France. It's why they cut it off, you know.
Well, so I was used to do my brains in, because a decision like that is absolute nonsense. Because not only you've got a referee, you've got 2 linesmen, and you've got a 4th official. So you've got 4 officials, and not one of them can see that it's the wrong person. Seriously.
Maybe nobody wants to correct the guy in the middle. I feel like there's always some of that going on.
I used to do my brains in, honestly.
He deserves it. It was at Stamford Bridge, you know. No excuses.
Oh, yeah, Frankie goes. I knew it.
That's why they have VAR now for cases of
Yeah, and all those
identity,
numpties that say, oh, VAR, we need to get rid of it. Like, I mean, are you serious?
Sure, there used to be some bad mistakes. There's some mistakes now. There's some things to complain about.
I'll tell you what you want to do? You want to take a poll of all ex-pros that have actually scored a goal and it's been disallowed because some idiot running the line has no idea and just guesses and sticks the flag up. And then you'll find out how good VAR is.
That idiot running the line, is that the guy you yelled at?
Is
that the guy you yelled at?
Well, he's one of many.
Yeah. Right, that'll do it.
They've got the biggest army in the world.
They do, the AR Army.
Aye.
All right, thanks to Frank, Kieran, and Stevie. ESPN FC available 7 days a week. Don't you dare miss a single episode.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.